Okay, now we will see the layout by containers. So we click here, and we add a container, and then I want to add another container, and I get an error or a warning telling me that you can't have, if you want to have several containers, they must be, you must tell me how they behave. So should I wrap them in a column, in a row, or wrap them in stack? We will wrap them in a stack, and this stack now it's kind of we have to, it's some way. Well, that's how it is, because this is working with something called Dart, programming language called Dart, and a framework called Flutter behind. And I cannot explain you now why, but that's how it works behind the scenes. And so a stack, you put all the containers inside the stack, and now we can tell the individual elements. This stack will take care of how to present these elements in the screen. And the best way is to establish colors. I will put a color of blue for the first one container and red for the other container. And first notice that I have different elements here. Like in the style sheet, now I don't have what I had in the column and of the alignments, and like yeah, I have different options, and that's exactly the point. That's the point. Like every layout element behaves differently, so it has different properties. So I will tell this container to take a width of 100% and a height of 50%. Okay, and the red one, a width of 100% and a width and a height of 40%. And it's not being seen because it's behind. You see, it's behind, and so that's why we don't see it. 40 pixels, no, 30%. Remember, pixels percent is not the same. Percent, it's the space available to occupy. I can make it circular or square, and now horizontally I'll make it to be at the horizontally no, vertical alignment here to appear in the bottom. And you can see now I have more control over where the elements will appear. These elements will always appear in the same place. Like they will always appear like this, you see? Now imagine that I want to add another container, for example, and this container I want it, and I want another container, and I want these two containers to be always, now the width will be 50%, and the height will be only 15%, 15%, and the color of this one will be yellow, okay? And this one will be also 50%. Now the width will be 50, and the height will be 15. And this one will have the color of gray. And I want to position this element at the bottom, but aligned to the left. And this element to the bottom and aligned to the right. Okay, you see what I mean, right? I'm achieving a scenario, because I can move it like this also, but I don't recommend you to do it like that because you don't have much control of what's happening. Or I don't know. Yeah, you can also do it like this, you see, like directly, but you can also do it like this, but I don't know why. I like it more to, I prefer to change it here because I have control of what's happening. But yeah, and for example, I could put here some sort of data, here another sort of data, here another sort of data. I could move it around. Well, this is basically containers, okay? And how to use them. You can play a little bit with it, how to, you can establish maximum width, minimum width, shadow box, gradients, image in the background, determine how the child elements of the container will behave, because inside a container, I can add another stack of containers. Okay, I could add another, and I can embed them as many as I want. And but this gets a bit complicated, and I don't recommend you to do really strange things, to be honest. I recommend you to stick to the don't embed in many levels, because if you're doing that, your life will get really complicated. But that's my personal opinion. Okay, so these are the container layouts.